Hey, what's up, everybody? It's me, Danae, and I'm here with a message for you. Happy Tuesday, everyone. It's April 21st, 2026, 11:41 on the clock. Hope you're doing so amazing on this fine day. Sun is shining where I am, although it's cold as hell. Like it just jumped back to winter for this week, 40s and 50s. But it's still been so beautiful for the most part, so no complaints here. I'm not quite ready for 80-degree weather just yet anyway, so I'll take the gradual heat up any day. All right, but anyway, let's see what we got today. Ooh, that popped in and out. Hangman. Somebody is in need of some answers, some enlightenment, awaiting an answer or a response. Maybe a response to prayer. What's that? All these popping back and forth. That's prayer. Or awaiting some type of transmission, and damn, because that's like Hangman and Four of Swords, that's like deep meditation. Maybe there's a call for that. Maybe the answers that you may be looking for could come through deep meditation or just quiet time and really shutting out outside noise, making more intention, making more efforts day to day to find that quiet time. If it's not like, officially meditation, there are ways to find meditative moments that don't necessarily have to be in the conventions that we know them best, like sitting on the floor, legs crossed, palms up, eyes closed, thinking about nothing, which is virtually impossible. There are ways to find meditation. It could be and doing something that you like to do. Like for me, coloring can be meditative at times. Taking a walk in nature could be meditative. Your favorite hobby that is just like relaxing and disarming could be meditative. The shower, ideas come to people, particularly me, in the shower or bath all the time. So it doesn't have to be so it doesn't have to be in a box. It's whatever you can find yourself spending more intentional time doing that will allow free-flowing transmissions that maybe, trying to break you free or enlighten you to something profound at this time. Ooh, Ten of Swords. What's that about? Let's see. Well, something's come to an end. What is this? 6. I would answer that because it's an 856 number, but I ain't got time right now. As 11:45 as that call comes in, which is like a backwards 911, a reverse 911. Oh, look at this. The culprit's been caught is what I'm getting here. Like somebody that was trying to get away with their guilt in a situation, or it's literally like somebody trying to get away with murder. but they're not. I mean, I rarely have the Seven of Swords in reverse, and even when it's upright for me, to me, the projection is that that person always gets caught up at some point down the line or in some way, usually by their own actions. But this being in the reverse is like somebody could have even been caught in the act of something egregious, or there's enough evidence to connect someone to something really treacherous that it's irrefutable, like case closed. So the hangman, that puts another spin on the hangman and the Four of Swords, like somebody wanted to maybe trying to think of an alibi or an excuse or some type of way out to absolve themselves of something here, something that could be incriminating or just damning in some way, shape, or form. But they are hard pressed to do so. Hold on, let me keep going. What's this? What's between these two? Let's see. Oh, wow. Oh, yeah, somebody going to jail. Somebody going to jail, or they in spiritual jail. It's like somebody is... There's no way out of something for someone. Something that they did is catching up to them. Or they literally, like I said, got caught in the act. So their hand, like the hands in the cookie jar, hands dirty, or whatever. Oh, little bird. And there's literally nothing that they can do, and all the foreseeable future is bleak on account of this. I mean, the 9 and the 10 of Swords, the 7 of Swords, like these are the worst sword cards you can get, in my opinion, other than like the 3 of Swords. But that's not even, that has an inflection of something positive. But these, the only positive aspect here is the 10, which is meaning that something is over. So it's like somebody's run from justice is finally come to an end. A cycle is closed, and of course the upside is a new beginning. But how is someone beginning is a question. I don't even really need to speak too much against these cards because they really speak for themselves. So I don't want to like pile it on, Somebody, what's that? Somebody's in trouble. Oh, what? What? And you saw how that just dropped out. Damn, what the... This is giving that somebody is really in a bad spot because... they owe a debt to the devil. Like something that they were supposed to carry out to fulfill a debt to some lower nature spirit within them, or that they have submitted themselves to, whatever the case may be. Maybe because they got caught or didn't finish the job, or they were supposed to do something and then get away with it. That was like the hidden term of the deal. Like if you get caught, then all bets are off. You're on your own. That's type of energy, which is kind of how the devil be moving it anyway. Like they'll send you out on a dummy mission, but the moment you get clinked, that's on you. don't waste your one phone call on him, because he ain't bailing you out. He ain't coming to save you. He ain't going to vouch for your character, give you an alibi, none of that. It's like, sorry, see you when I see you. Peace. That's from Martin's stand-up. You so crazy. I had told Craig and him. That's what I'm saying. Like, somebody need an alibi bad. They need somebody to say, like, just say I was with you. And they have no one that's willing to go out on a limb for them. That hangman is literally somebody being some type of like living sacrifice, or being hung out to dry, left for dead. Like, whatever they got themselves entangled in, they are completely on their own. And it ain't good. This is wild. I can't believe how that dropped out like that. And under normal circumstances, I probably wouldn't have even taken it. What was that? The high priestess. But something told me to look at it. The emperor. Wow. So somebody that had a high level of access, or it could be someone that would want to petition some type of like contacts, or like people in high places that they once would have access to, they don't anymore. People that, okay, so people that they thought would be like their get out of jail free card, or the ones again that would vouch for them, or pull strings, or do whatever needs to be done, you know, that have the type of influence and pull to get you out of a sticky situation, are like hands off, nowhere to be found, not answering calls. Like, they may be caught up too, and so they're trying to stay clear because they don't want someone else's guilt to reflect onto them. And then, you know, like that, like, come on out, y'all, we caught. I don't know why I'm getting a whole bunch of comedy references right now. That was a joke I heard one time. I feel like that was on like BET's comedy show. What was the name of that show? Comedy, not, damn, now I kind of want to know, but it was a comedy show. I used to watch that so much too. It was funny as hell back in the day. But I feel like I saw a comedian, you know, say that, like, how people be when they get caught, and, you know, like, they the only ones that got caught, but then they start ratting on everybody else, like, come out, y'all, they got us, we caught, come on, the jig is up. Crazy. I don't even know what that's supposed to mean, but maybe that's what somebody is on the verge of doing, you know, like where they about to start giving up the tape on everything and everybody. And that could be the reason why people are kind of running for cover, because somebody's in such a bind that ain't no telling what they might do or say, more than anything, with all these swords to get out of it. They're going to start singing like a bird. I just gotta know, what was that show? This is gonna bother me. Hold on, because it might have a significance. The title might spark something. Let me see. BET Comic View, was that it? I think it was Comic View. Yeah, BET. Yep, Comic View. So I don't know, like, maybe the view that I'm seeing it is it has some type of like I don't think it's actually comedy, but it feels like poetic justice in a way, like almost ironic or something like that. Like it's almost laughable how a situation takes a turn for the worst in a sense. That might be the significance of that. Two of Wands. I mean, yeah, Two of Wands. Somebody looking for a solution, searching far and wide, or trying to put a plan into action. But it's given very limited resources to do so. Maybe even to make a deal, to negotiate some type of deal, or... But it's like, yeah, with the King of Swords, like, yeah, they telling. Oh, shoot, I done threw the card clear across to the flow. Ooh, with the High Priestess. Now, I picked it up in the reverse, but I don't know. Damn. Like, either somebody's mom is implicated in this, or somebody's mom even has kind of like washed their hands. And that could just be a representation, again, of just somebody literally having nobody. It's because it's one thing, you know, when all your friends forsake you, or people that you thought were your friends, or the people that your associates, but it's given that some, like, the most intimate people to someone are not, either they just are powerless and there's nothing that can be done, or they're not even reachable. Let me see. Let me one between those two. The Devil and the Empress in reverse. And then we had the Emperor, but he was in the upright. That's some heavy energy. The Devil and the Empress in reverse. That's some serious abuse of power and feminine force here. Manipulation, heavy on the narcissism. Someone that would, that could literally be a spouse that turned on someone, or like a partner in crime, like Bonnie turning on Clyde type of thing. That's what that could be. Like I said, where somebody that would, you know how you have like spousal privilege, that's like somebody that would waive that for their own protection. Like, I'll tell you anything you want to know. They don't even have to, but they will type of energy. That's crazy. As long as they can get the better deal. Ooh, and they might have like thrown everything on somebody else. This is so dark. If you get a spouse to turn in some type of high profile case, damn, the spouse could have, because to turn, like, the spouse could have been the op, like, could have been the mole, or mom could have been the mole. But I'm getting like heavy on some type of like spouse, especially with the Devil, some type of karmic partner, which could be a mom or a dad. Definitely somebody close, though, that would know the game, know the ins and outs, know what somebody was playing, probably because they were in on it, you know, at least at some point in time, organically, and they just gave up all the tape. Maybe even, you know, drop the dime on when something was supposed to happen live, which is why somebody got caught in the act. That's, wow, hold on. What is this? Oh, you see how that just popped? It's upside. Oh my God. I've never had the Sun in reverse. So to me, it's like something... So, this is deep. This is deep. I'm getting chills because, like I was saying, it's like somebody close to this situation, or to this perp, or whatever we talk about here. It's like there's a line, and it's so funny because I felt guided to pull out Game of Thrones cards today, but I was like, nah, I'll pull them out later this week. But there's like a line in Game of Thrones about Cersei that Jaime says, ooh, it's getting darker and darker. When she was supposed to be, she was pregnant at the end, and she kind of used that leverage as leadway to pledge her allegiance to the collective cause of like becoming alliances, like putting their war to the side, becoming alliance war against each other to the side, becoming alliances to fight the army of the dead, right? But of course she lied. She was supposed to send her troops to the north to help fight the army that was closing in, and she didn't. And they really believed that she would, but Jaime, who was her twin brother slash lover, crazy series, said something like, yeah, because it was like a question like, is she even pregnant? And it's like, yeah, she really is pregnant. But, you know, Cersei's always had a good way of using the truth as a, like something about like using the truth as a weapon, like kind of contorting the truth in a way that is irrefutable because she actually is pregnant, but how she used it in a very manipulative way to gain an advantage. So it's like real kind of distorted, like, and that's the flash that I'm getting here, where somebody is privy to truth. They know what's going on. They know details and like intimate details about someone or about a situation, but they're using that truth as a weapon and not in an honorable way at all, because the truth that they know, a large part, like I said, is to a large degree is on account of the fact that they were just as implicit and involved. So it's like somebody turning all the evidence that they have a firsthand account of in a way that kind of throws all the blame or onus onto someone else. Because they know it, they can speak to it so clearly and so evidently, but because they have that firsthand account, they know exactly how to contort it in a way that kind of absolves them or keeps their, to some degree, kind of cleans their hands, washes their hands a bit, and puts the blame on to something or someone else. Like you being the one, like I said, watch, like you laundering the money through your businesses or whatever, but you claim like you didn't know. Like, I don't know how to explain that. Trying to give like a practical example. I guess it's not really necessary, you know, but it's definitely given. And then the other aspect of the sun in reverse is like there is exposure here, but it's dark. It's a dark exposure. It's the type that you wouldn't want to be revealed. Like she's exposing all the dirty secrets that I'm gonna, in some cases, don't even need to be exposed. Like maybe somebody is like in under some type of blackmail or something here. That could be it too, because I don't see like justice or judgment or anything yet. So it could be some type of blackmail situation where someone's holding something over another person's head and they have all the intel, all the information to do so. So that's why somebody's kind of like really caught. I mean, this is beyond caught between a rock and a hard place. It's like somebody being literally turning on someone and threatening to expose all of their dirty little secrets in the most vivid light if they don't comply or if they don't do something. Or, and the Seven of Swords could literally be that evidence being something that is documented, like caught on tape or traceable, text messages, like receipts, pretty much receipts. Like they got the receipts and they're not afraid to use them. They actually would be so obliged, like it would give somebody pleasure the pleasure that someone has holding something over somebody's head and, like, keeping them stuck by the balls, literally, that hangman card in the beginning, is probably running neck and neck with the pleasure that they would take in actually releasing it, and watching the backfire, watching the downfall, watching the impact that it would have to maybe somebody's character, their reputation, their livelihood, something like that. Like, damn, somebody evil as hell, sinister as hell. They thrive in the darkness. They love it there. Ain't no reasoning with somebody like that, and no bargaining. At the point where they got you by the balls, you're gonna do exactly as they say. Y'all, this landed just like this. My goodness. It landed upside down, like not even just flat, because it was like leaned up against the chair, just like that. This is the most karmic of karmic situations. We already had the damn devil. I've never had this many reversals in a reading. Never. This is somebody that was an op from the start. They're just like a really deep karmic lesson for someone, but not the kind that you feel good about. I mean, it might be a lesson it's like a make or break type of karmic lesson. This is either going to be the end of someone, like the thing that really is their demise, or it's the thing that transforms them in a profound way. They'll never be the same again either way. One way or another, they'll never be the same again. Hence why somebody might be in prayer or meditation or trying to call on some type of higher knowledge or intervention or help, because they're fucked. Like, possibly quite literally fucked. Perhaps by who they fucked. Yo, like I said, something poetic, comedic about this. Like, what's the comedy? I guess because, first of all, somebody thought they were ultra clever. They might have even thought they had a winner, chicken dinner. They thought they were invincible. They thought they had access to, they had all the influence and access that could secure their invincibility. Like, King Kong ain't got nothing on me type vibes. When the whole time it was the person that was, like, they were literally sleeping with the enemy the whole time. And at one point in time, they may have thought that they had the upper hand. We saw the emperor. They may have either had, maybe their ego eluded them to believe, or there was a projection here with the devil upright, one of the only upright cards, majors, that's upright. Yeah, like so many reverse majors, which is so rare for me. I swear, it's astounding. But the devil being the one that is upright is like making someone believe that they had the upper hand, or they were under control, or they were, a dominant force, like giving them all types of false senses of power and authority and leverage in a contract that was pretty much constructed deceptively, or constructed for someone to fail ultimately. like not just unreasonable terms, but impossible terms for someone to fulfill. There was never going to be, at least in this lifetime, an opportunity for someone to do all that they've done. Seven of Swords here. All that they have done and get away scot-free. That type of invincibility doesn't exist universally. It's got to catch up with you somewhere, somehow. And usually when you least expect it, in a package that you least expected in, and at a magnitude that you weren't prepared to manage. And that's what's happening here. It's like somebody's entire life is being completely turned upside down. And it's like they didn't even see it coming, because they really thought that they had the resources to get away, to get over, to get off. Whatever they thought, they were sadly mistaken here. Nothing, it's like nothing in somebody's life, 12:11 coming up on the clock, nothing in somebody's life was organic, pure. Everything was either an illusion, a delusion, or some type of false projection or deception. People wearing masks in their lives, pretending to be friends or pretending to be devoted to the cause, whatever their cause may have been, to be accomplices in the acts, to be maybe even to be fearful of them, or somehow like when you when you feel like you owe somebody something, like people that they may have thought they had in their back pocket, like I got something on you too, so you can't do so much, you know what I mean? Like maybe thought because there was so much intimate connection here, like an accomplice so intimate that there's no way they could flip on you because you got too much on them. But not if they get to the deal first, not if they start talking first and giving up all the tape. Usually the law, or like there's going to be some lopsided favor on account of the one who's going to be able to help build the case. And I'm still talking about it as if it's a case, but I don't have evidence for that. So whatever this is, it's like it's so far gone that even the person that thinks that they are, gaining the upper hand by being the ultimate deceptor, like that doesn't have a long shelf life either. There's no longevity in that. Eventually they'll fall to their own demise in some way, shape, or form. But let me see what else is with this Lovers, because this is so wild. What I say? And it's the Knight of Wands hidden behind this Five of this person has so many enemies, probably jealous of them, jealous of their charisma, jealous of their influence, or their charm or their capabilities in the purest form. And instead of them setting themselves apart and using that power, their power and creativity for good, they gave in to their dark urges, maybe into their temptations, into their lower nature. They were distracted. They were they were drawn to the dark side, and they, again, probably thinking that they were wiser. I I've seen this before where people think that they're so clever and so like agile energetically that they can walk on the dark side or walk through the underworld and come out unscathed, like kind of like figure out a way to play everybody else, you know, play those energies against. That's why it's comical. Because they think that they can ultimately play everybody else, like manipulate the energies again, figure out a way to have something on everybody so that you think nobody can turn on you, or that we're all in the same boat. Meanwhile, they're scheming that Two of Wands that we saw to gain the upper hand on the entire situation. Like they think they got the big picture view on how to get the most out of the game without sacrificing by sacrificing the least, and meanwhile probably having the intention to sacrifice anything. Like everything becomes like a casualty at that point in time for your ulterior motive. And like I said, that's a lot of power and influence to have in the upright. This is the potential that someone has naturally had, even with the Emperor coming up in the upright. But they just lended it to all the wrong things, invested it in all the wrong spaces and places, and this is the result. They knew better, and they had the responsibility to do better, and they didn't. And it's not looking good. It's like somebody was always in the lion's den, but they wasn't Daniel. They finna be divine, because Daniel was righteous. Wasn't it Daniel in the lion's den? Yeah, it was. Right now, I gotta look that up to be sure, because y'all know I'll be messing up Bible stories sometimes. But my heart be in the right place, and it always makes sense for what I say, even if I be off. But yeah, Daniel. But Daniel was a righteous man. He was very powerful, but he was a righteous man, and he also knew the source of his power. This is somebody that was willing to gamble that source, like almost like gambling what you have to make the come up, and then thinking you was going to take that come up back to resume your regular righteousness, or at least the facade of it all. And it's like, no, you wasn't going to play in the devil's face like that. You were always going to be indebted the moment you signed that contract. It was never meant for you to really get out, especially not unscathed. And then to think that you were going to outsmart the darkness and come out on top. Oh, you had to be taught a lesson. That's why I was saying, like, this is a make or break karmic lesson. Like, somebody will either really fall to their demise, never to return, or never to emerge again. I'm sorry. Or they will be eternally transformed, and they will never make this type of gamble again. That imprint of knowing better will ultimately amount to doing better for someone, maybe just sheerly out of fear, unfortunately, because the way that they about to get that ass taxed, if not already, is not something that anybody's going to be able to just easily bounce back from, like a scrape on the knee or a slap on the wrist. It's like somebody's getting it or about to get it from every which way. So it could be, again, from the intimate relationships, the estranged relationships, maybe bridges they burned, maybe also legally, so also spiritually. Like, it's the ultimate dark night of the soul at play here, and somebody is not really equipped for the journey. They need to stay in prayer and meditation at this rate. Yeah, look, the Page of Wands, like they're not really, just like a child. From the Knight, from the King, somebody's been completely degraded or demoted or diminished to a childlike state, maybe energetically, probably in terms of like their own power and influence to change their situation for the better. It's like there's still hope here, there's still possibility, but some the resources that someone has available to them are limited to what they have on hand. They don't have anything to reach for outside of themselves anymore. They barely feel like they can reach the divine at this time, because when you're in a dark space like this, sometimes you don't even feel like your prayers can be heard. You don't feel like you could get humble enough, or somebody might not yet be humbled enough to submit themselves and surrender themselves to the divine for the help that they truly need. They ain't really hit that rock bottom just yet. What's on the bottom? Three of Wands. They still looking for a way out or some type of salvation, but it's going to come from within. It's not going to come from without. Somebody is going to have to get real humble in a way that may be foreign to them at this time, before they can have any great expectation for the future. But again, like I said, the upside for me always is, as long as you have breath in your body, there is hope. But it's not going to come by way of the things that someone has conditioned themselves to rely on or falsely depended upon. People, places, or things. It's like the moment of truth for somebody to really reach into the, deep within themselves and harness a power that they may never have actually resourced before, because they've been so busy resourcing everything on the outside and everyone on the outside. To actually dig deep within themselves and find the resilience, find the will, the strength, the determination that's not motivated by any external influence or force, and or incentive for that matter, and no guarantee. Oh, you got to be hella strong for that. That'll really tell if someone truly is a King of Wands or an Emperor energy at heart, by how they manage this transition of sorts. Damn. Well, I'm going to leave it at that. I don't know what more to say. I wasn't expecting this type of message. We've been keeping it clean over here, and I love it. But apparently, this is something that needed to be said. So there it is. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Until next time, as always, I leave you with peace.